Hello my friends, my name is Ryan Freeman. I'm a public school teacher in Taiwan and I just finished my taxes. In this video, I'm going to give you a brief idea of what to expect while filing your income tax as a foreigner in Taiwan. But first, please give me a big thumbs up and subscribe. So, I did my taxes last year for the first time in Kaohsiung. If you have not watched that video, click that card up above. This was my second year filing income tax in Taiwan, and I now live in Jiayi City. So I was curious, would there be a different process? Usually, if you're a foreign English teacher in Taiwan, you will have a coordinator who can help you to give you the directions on where to file your taxes, or they might even go with you. I asked my coordinator, she offered to come with me. Not all coordinators are the same. I have talked to other foreign English teachers recently that have told me complainingly that their coordinators try to skip out of doing a lot of things that they, the foreign English teacher, think is very helpful and perhaps even in their contract and necessary. But I have a good coordinator. She offered to attend me. She also said that I could file my income taxes online. I wasn't aware of that. If you are curious about the link that she sent me, I will put that link down below in the information. But I wanted to go to the tax office because I had such a positive experience in Kaohsiung, and I was curious, what would it be like here in Jiayi City? So, very, very similarly, I went to the tax office, which was part of the biggest government building right in the heart of Jiayi City. And as soon as I walked in, there were plenty of what looked like volunteers wearing a vest, like a yellow vest, to let you know that they are there to help you if you are lost. Especially going into a large building in a foreign city, you might not know where to go, but it's always reassuring. And I have found this in hospitals here and in every government building that I've gone to, that there's always a help desk, and usually they're not so busy. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not, but it doesn't take long to get their attention, and they might not speak English, but if you have a phone with Google Translate, it's pretty easy to help them understand where you need to go, and they will often walk you to the destination that you're looking for. Okay, so I go to where I need to file my income tax. And to file your income taxes in person, all you need is your ARC card. That is your resident permit. That is your ID card. You need that, and you need a bank book, which is your account information for them to deposit your refund into. Now, if you filed taxes previously, what I found out is they still have my account information from last year, so I didn't even need my bank book if I wanted to deposit into that bank account. However, I wanted to deposit my refund into a new bank account, so luckily I had the account book that I wanted the money to come to, because I was looking forward to some money. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so it's really easy. There was no line when I did it in Kaohsiung last year, and there was no line when I did it this year in Jiayi City. One thing to note, you are to file your taxes sometime in May. All right, so if you are working during the weekdays as a public school teacher, you may need to ask your director or school to give you a little time off to go file your taxes, as government buildings are not really open. Actually, I don't know how late they're open for taxes, for doing your taxes, but in any case, I went during working hours. And after I gave them the information, it was really just a few minutes before they processed everything and then handed me out this packet of information, which is in English and Chinese, that told me all the information I needed to know on how they figured out my refund. There's a whole formula: gross income minus exemption minus deductions minus basic living expense minus startup tax credit, blah 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 blah. That shows you the whole thing. All right. Now, for those of you who are unaware, you will generally be charged 18%. You'll be taxed 18% for your first 6 months in Taiwan, and then 5% on your last 6 months. One of the reasons, I've covered this in my previous video, one of the reasons is they are afraid that there's a flight risk that foreigners who are not charged enough tax may run away before it's time to pay their tax. But as most of us do get charged a full 18% for those first 6 months, we get money back. And so how much money did I get back? Well, that's the question you came to find out, right? Because you're curious. You know, it sucks paying 18% while your local co-workers, who probably have a lower salary, maybe not, depends how long they've been teaching, are being taxed. I don't know how much local teachers get taxed, but they don't get charged 18%, much less. Okay, so I had a nice refund, almost the same amount as last year. I got 91,745 NTD back, which, sorry guys, I should have had, see, it's a pretty hefty packet that they give you, and for some reason I can't find the actual page, because I want you to know, okay, here it is. I found the page. Please don't click away. Okay, here it goes. So this page shows me how much my income was for the year. My income for the year was 1,078,846 NT. So a little over $1 million. I had 126,000 withheld NT, and so that worked out to about 12% of my income was withheld. But after filing my taxes in the month of May, very easily, I will get back that previous number that I just quoted you, 91,745 back on August 1st. It will be deposited into my bank account. And so that means, essentially, you know, if they withheld 100 and too many papers, if they withheld 126,158 kwai is a Chinese word just to easily say money, NTD, but I get 91,000 back. Well, that means really the government only took, what is that, 35,000, about 35,000 NT from me, which is a little over 1,000 US dollars paid into the system, which I'm happily fine with. So I find that I didn't really have that much. I mean, once I got a lot withheld, 12%, but I'm getting most of that back. So I'm pretty happy with that. I'll have a little over 3,000 US deposited August 1st, which I need. You know, I just had a very expensive surgery that cost me quite a pretty penny. Cost me 60,000 NT, about 2,000 US dollars. And one of the reasons I wanted to go in person, I wanted to ask them, was this expensive surgery deductible? Will that help me with my income tax return? And she said, yes, it will. Keep your receipt. And when you file taxes next year, because I had this for this year, and I did taxes for it last year. So when you file your taxes next year, take your receipts. But here's the cool thing on this very detailed form, it actually has a list of all of my medical expenses. All you need is that ID card, all you need is the bank passbook, and if you filed taxes previously, you don't even need that because they have your previous one on record. They have all of your information. They do it so quickly, so easily, in English. Now, I use the combination of English and Chinese. I was fairly proud of that because the lady's English and my Chinese were comparable. Well, she had better English overall, I would say. But they do it in English, no problem. So easy. You get most of your money back. Now you might be saying, Ryan, you only earned $1 million last year? Yeah, I only earned $1 million last year. A little over $1 million, right? Not a lot of money, right? When you compare it to US or other countries in terms of salary. But here's the thing. Life here is really cheap. I mentioned Subway sandwiches in one of my last videos. You get a foot-long tuna Subway sandwich for $7.50 US here, and Diana, #1 subscriber, said it costs $12 in Las Vegas, and then you gotta usually pay in most states in America. You gotta pay sales tax. In Taiwan, whatever you purchase, it's that price. Maybe the tax is already inside, probably, but there's no paying. If it says $7.50, it's $7.50. You don't have to wait to see the sales tax go up, and there's no tips. This haircut, which, okay guys, it's not the best haircut, but I didn't shower today, so this is just bedhead. My haircut cost me $5 US, 150 new Taiwanese dollars. $5, no tip, no tax, no tip. A lot of things, the cost of living, you know, my apartment, transportation, it's everything is very cheap. So even though you don't earn a lot of money, and you might be taxed more than you want, you'll get to keep most of that money, and life here is inexpensive. You're not going to be a baller, but you got a lot of free time. Like, you know, yesterday, I didn't even teach any classes. I chilled, took some photos with some big shots, and ate delicious foods that people in my office were like, Ryan, eat this, eat this. Read my book, which I just finished, and I'll do a book review maybe this weekend. So yeah, you don't earn a lot of money, but life's pretty easy when it comes to a lot of this stuff. Anyways, that's it for doing your taxes. If you have any questions, write it down below. My name's Ryan Freeman. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.